Well, hey guys, and welcome to Inspirations for Your Life. It's Saturday, it's March 28, 2026, and Saturday means we're on a brand new master topic. It's so great to be with everyone here this evening with a brand new master topic. We start on our Saturday, we roll all the way through the Friday, and it is great to be with you here tonight. If this is your very first time with me, I want to personally say welcome and thank you so much for joining me tonight. If you have been here before many times, well, welcome back. So it's great to have you here, those that are really appreciating and valuing my content. So thank you very much. If you are new or you're not new, be sure to check out believemeachieve.com for more of my amazing, inspiring creations. Uh, yes. And you can do that, guys, after the show. So definitely check that out. So, what I want to tell you guys is this week is a really amazing master topic. All right. We'll get to that in just a minute. If you are thirsty, feel free to go grab yourself something like our water. I have a nice cup of hot tea here. Really delicious. And maybe you want to get yourself another snack, fruit, or whatever have you. That's up to you. It could be healthy or not. That is totally up to you. So yes, I want to welcome you here very much to the show. And without any further ado, guys, I want to go ahead and kick this show off. All right, guys. So this is Inspirations for Your Life. And it is so great to be with everyone here today. Thank you so very much for being here. Really do appreciate that. And let's just go ahead and kick this show off. Are you ready? I know that I am definitely ready. All right, guys. So this is Inspirations for Your Life. This is Series 5. It's show number 14, Episode 1. The master topic of the week is Own Your Focus. And that comes under the bridges of clarity and courage. And of course, momentum. It is Saturday, and our granular topic for Saturday is observe and assess. Oh, by the way, if you're wondering who I am, sure, I'm John C. Morley, serial entrepreneur. I'm an engineer, marketing specialist, video producer, podcast host, coach, keynote speaker, graduate student, and a passionate lifelong learner. And in less than 60 days, guys, I will be a published author. I am really excited about that. So welcome, everyone, again to Inspirations for Your Life. Today, we're diving into owning your focus, a week dedicated to sharpening your perception, acting decisively, and maintaining momentum through intentional choices. You're going to learn this week to see opportunities others will often miss. Think clearly under pressure and turn small actions into consistent life-changing progress. Let's step in and start observing what really matters. That's right, guys. So, notice patterns others ignore. Opportunities hide in what most people overlook. So, I have a question for all of you. Assumptions early, as I say to people, we have to question the assumptions early. Challenge default thinking before making decisions. Pause before reacting. Taking a breath gives clarity and avoids mistakes. Small details reveal big insights, and the tiniest signals often lead to the biggest breakthroughs. Did you know that? Yes, it does. Awareness uncovers hidden leverage. Focus reveals areas where small actions create outsized impact. And I think people don't realize that that's possible, but it really is possible. Track your habits, guys, to spot improvement. Daily reflection exposes growth opportunities. So I encourage people to meditate and reflect. Observation reduces mistakes. Seeing clearly prevents costly missteps. I'll tell you a quick story that my grandfather always would tell me on my dad's side. And that was, John, you need to measure twice and cut once. Because if you cut wrong, you can't make it bigger. You can make it smaller, but you can't make it bigger, whether that's wire, whether that's wood, anything. Once you cut it, you can't make it bigger again. Seeing clearly prevents costly missteps. Recognizing subtle opportunities, the world rewards those who notice nuance. Focus on high value tasks. Spend energy where it moves the needle most. Compare results to intentions. Measure outcomes against your goals for what I'll say, guys, is course correction. So that's a very important thing. Mindful reflection is also key. Mindful reflection enhances clarity. So step back, guys, and think choices. That's better choices for you. Avoid jumping to conclusions because so many people want to do that because they're in a rush. Patience uncovers the truth before action is taken. So we need to have patience and we need to look at not only the trees and the birds, but we have to look at the entire forest as a collection. Context shapes our perception. And I've said to you guys before that perceptions create our reality. They do. Understand the environment, guys, before deciding. Observation prevents wasted effort. Don't work harder on things that don't matter. Notice what competitors miss. Find gaps others overlook and seize the opportunity. Seize that moment to actually, I'm going to say, move forward. Right? I think that's a very important thing. You know, so we have to think about that. Okay, and I know that's scary for some people. So what I mean is that we have to be intentional on the choices that we take in life, right? The gaps that we find are because of our awareness. Success is all around us, guys. And the reason you may not be picking up success is because you're tuned into a different channel, right? If you want to listen to rock music and you're tuned into classical, well, you're never going to hear rock. And if you want to hear, let's say, classical, and you're tuned in other, you're not going to hear it. But if you're tuned into, let's say, a news station, you want to hear classical, you're not going to hear it. So you got to be tuned into the channel that is going to bring you what you're looking for. Does that make sense? So when we think about these things, all right, I think it helps us to understand a tiny bit. Okay, a tiny bit, but it does take time to do this, guys. Does that make sense? And I want to tell you that thinking about awareness helps give us a new lease on life. Strengthening decision making, seeing the whole picture gives us confidence to want to move forward. Now, small insights compound over time. Daily observations accumulate in expertise. It's not that everything kind of comes at once. It's the fact that we get this assimilation. I want to talk about this like SEO, search engine optimization. You could put great pages up there, right? But you don't get the benefits of them overnight. Google might take a couple days, couple weeks, couple months till it starts to see them. And the truth of the matter is, if your domain is too young, then Google will maybe list your domain and see the pages, but it will choose not to index them because it doesn't find them to be important. Now, if it is indexed and you can find it, that's great. But if it doesn't rank you for more than just your domain, and you're also not going to be found. So that's important too. Google has to see you as an authority in that industry. All right. That's a very, very important thing for us to realize. And so when I say realize, I mean we have to be aware of subtle, subtle, subtle changes. Okay, not big changes, but I mean like really, really subtle changes. Okay. That's important, guys, but you can do it. And when you are aware of these subtle changes, you suddenly get different perceptions. Recognize, guys, early signs of change. Anticipate the shifts before they disrupt your life. Because the thing is, there's always going to be something that might upset your apple cart. If you have a plan B, then guess what? You're going to be doing really, 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 really well. I think that's a very important thing to understand is that you're going to do really, really well. Tracking patterns creates advantage. I've said this before. When we can look at patterns, I don't care whether we're talking about artificial intelligence, computer science, whether we're talking about pharmaceutical, biology, chemistry, when we can recognize patterns, we get this huge advantage. Consistency in noticing leads to predictive power. Now, predictive power is not magical, guys. Okay. Okay. And when I say it's not magical, because you're thinking of something, but maybe you're not sure of it. Okay. That's important, guys. Very, very important to realize. But sometimes, like I said, we get stuck, right? We get stuck in a certain pace. Does that make sense? And I want to tell you that getting stuck is okay as long as you can get unstuck. Sometimes our stuckness gets us into a place of, "Well, I got to observe that. Why am I acting that way?" See, observation fuels creativity. Seeing what's happening allows new ideas to emerge, almost like out of thin air. Focused awareness builds momentum, and attention concentrated on the right things will inevitably accelerate the results. But most people are too lazy for that, okay? And that can make a very, 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 very big difference. So let's do this, guys. Let's understand that when we become this, let's say, acute to what's going on, it precedes the action. Knowing the problem or the challenge fully before acting boldly. Awareness will always protect energy. Avoid the distractions that drain mental bandwidth. They can happen from anywhere, guys. Okay. Um, Anywhere. All right. Anywhere at all. Daily assessment, guys, strengthens skill. Review and refine your approach every day. When I was doing my writing, guys, I have to tell you, writing the first time, you think you have it right, but I can tell you something, you don't always have it right. You have to go back and you have to review. And sometimes I review several times. It's like you get this epiphany moment that is, I'm going to say, really, really, really amazing. And that's important. All right. Really, really, really important. Okay. Um, but you can do it. You can do it. And if you have this awareness, if you have this understanding, you can make a lot of changes in your life. But awareness becomes this very quiet thing that the mind kind of dials into, like nonchalantly. Watch trends, not the noise, because a lot of times we get noise around us and we think the noise is it, but it's not. It's a distraction to what we're trying to get to. Separate the signal from the distraction to actively and decisively move forward. I know you might be saying, John, well, that never happens to me. Okay. All right. I think that's an important thing to realize. Observation, folks, improves the foresight. Seeing patterns ahead gives strategic advantage. So if you're somebody who can recognize patterns, you'll go far in life, whether we're in math, whether we're in logic, any kind of problem solving, because chances are the challenge or problem you've seen has come up in your life before. I'm like, oh, I got the answer to that. You got the answer, right? That's an important thing. I think that's important to understand. Very important to definitely understand. All right. But you have to do it slowly and carefully. Slowly and carefully, not something that you're going to do quickly, right? Not quickly. And I know you might be saying to me, John, well, like, it's not working for me. And that's because you're trying too hard. You heard me say that right. You are trying too hard. Pattern recognition should be something you enjoy, something that's easy, not something that's going to give you a lot of pushback. If it's giving you pushback, guess what? It's not natural. You're not seeing the right thing. All right. You're not seeing the right thing. That's important, guys. Attention to detail. I don't care whether you're in graphic design or whether you're in construction, engineering. Detail is important. It multiplies our impact. Small precision leads to exponential results. Churning a flange or a screw, just a fraction, can make such a big difference. Insight comes from the patience that we develop. We're not born with patience, guys. I got to tell you, we're not born as leaders and we're not born with patience. We have to develop that. Give ideas time to form before you act upon them. All right? Before you act upon them. That's a very important thing to realize. I say before you act upon them. Awareness, I'm going to say again, guys, sharpens our intuition. The more you see, the stronger your gut becomes. See clearly, act intentionally. Clear observation paired with deliberate action drives real true success. And if you're trying to get something too fast, chances are you're missing the whole cake, right? I'm going to use the analogy of a cake because sometimes people like, you're having the icing on the cake, but you're not enjoying the whole cake. Or you've seen the thing about a book, right? You're judging the book by its cover. How do you know if the book's any good? You can't judge it by its cover. But so many people do that. It's usually not good readers. It's people that are wanting to look for a quick fix to get out of the book. So observation allows us to dial into so many, I'm going to say, things in our life. Things that we didn't even know were possible. Things we didn't even know were possible. That's pretty cool, guys. So observation allows us to take the data, which is what we see, hear, touch, taste, smell, and experience, and create something new. A lot of times when we're working on a new project, I don't know if we're talking about a book, we're talking about a software program, we're talking about building a deck, we're talking about a renovation, we're talking about balancing a budget, we're talking about an advertising plan, we're talking about a negotiation. Could be talking about anything. But when we start out, we have to have an understanding of what's around us. Now, that can be people, right? That absolutely can be people. But for whatever reason, we rush through because we feel that if we rush through, we'll solve it quicker. But chances are we're not going to solve it quicker. We're going to have to go through it again and again and again. So we've always said that haste makes waste. So why are you rushing things to be done so quickly? Embrace the discovery. Another wise person I've known said to me, John, life is when we discover a bunch of games worth learning and being able to live through. And so when we approach life as a game, as a bunch of challenges, we can figure out, well, what puzzle are we trying to solve? And I know that you feel that if we solve the puzzle, it's going to help me do very well, but just think of it as a puzzle, right? Maybe you're a game player. Maybe you are trying to get better at a certain sport. If you approach that sport with so much stress, you probably won't play it anymore. I know a lot of people that play golf. I love golf. But if you approach golf with stress, you're not going to play and you're not going to enjoy golf. Okay? You're not going to enjoy it. And that's something that I feel a lot of people don't realize. Enjoy the game. Another person said to me, John, you have to suit up every day. Approach the world as a game. Figure out where you need to move and what actions you need to take to get the results you want while being genuine and intentional. I talk about this a lot when it comes to networking. So many people I know will literally just, well, literally, they'll literally just come there and just grab cards, but they don't intentionally get to know people. They're not in it for the relationship. We have another slogan at our chamber. It's called relationships before transactions. That's key, guys. I know everybody wants the transaction, but if you're just a transaction, there's no meaning, there's no respect. And I think a lot of people, well, unfortunately, they learn this the hard way. When I started business a long time ago, my first company, not my second, third, or fourth, when I started my very first company, it was actually when I was still in college as a junior with a friend of mine. So we're like 32 years, okay, this year. And when I had a friend of mine who was working with me for a little time, he was trying to do all this stuff, but it wasn't stuff that was going to stick. He did stuff that he thought was going to matter, but it didn't matter. He put a facade on. He made me believe he was good at what he was doing, but he wasn't. I didn't call him on the carpet about that. I asked him if he needed help, assistance, or training. Of course, no, I don't need that. Our relationship wound up ending over. We started the business in 32. I would say over 10 or 12 years ago, it ended. Well, let's say 10 or 12 years ago from when we started the business. Okay. So that was a very interesting turning point because he wasn't getting what was going wrong. He was not getting what was going wrong. And he was never going to get it. And the reason he wasn't going to get it, because he just didn't understand that it's not about a transaction. It's not about a transaction. It's about much, much more. It's about much, much more, guys. It's about understanding how you can take the data that is around you and move forward and make choices. That is intentional choices where you can deliberately affect what's around you. That's pretty cool, guys. Affect what's around you. Affect what is around you. Probably sounds confusing for you, but it's not. Okay? It takes intention. It takes honesty. It takes a passion. I think that's an important piece, guys. A very important piece. A piece that maybe you're not aware of. When I say the world is about transactions, they're all about what people can get, but they're not about the human dynamic interchange. They just want to get what they need and get out, but they're not looking to build a bridge. They're just looking to use the bridge. So there's a difference between building a bridge you can recross and be comfortable with, and one that you just go to when you need a one-way need, not a two-way need. So this whole week is really exciting to me because owning your focus allows you to be a deliberate creator. And I don't use that word a lot, but when we learn that we can be a deliberate creator, our life changes. Our life changes. And I think that's something that a lot of people like just don't get. They just don't get it. And that's a very, very big problem, guys. A very, very big problem. When we're more about transactions than the relationships, it will show. It definitely will show. We've got a lot to cover this week, guys, by the way. So, in closing, I just want to say that's all for this Saturday session tonight for Observe and Assess. Remember, owning your focus isn't just about seeing, and it's not always through the eyes. I've said that. It's about sensing and acting intentionally on what you notice and feel and experience around you. The small daily choices you make compound into momentum, clarity, and real progress. You can catch inspirations for your life weekly and daily at believemeachieve.com and listen to the full episodes and replays and whatnot. And remember, guys, for more strategies, mindset shifts, and actionable shifts and lessons and elevate your clarity and courage, check out believemeachieve.com and we'll start making your life a little better one day at a time. Take care, everyone, and be intentional in everything you do.